I pressed the record button, save, back, check audio level. Alright, I'm trying to get the background to work. I recorded a vlog this morning. I just found one, that one, the sketchy one. Okay. Alright, I'll put the phone in the stand. I recorded a video blog yesterday, and I don't know if I really liked it. I was just sorting through stuff in the garage, making room for a car, and I had mentioned offhand what I'd wanted to explain in a bigger paragraph, but I only said the first introduction sentence of what I've learned from simulations of war games, aka also known as video games, is that war is funny and fun. And of course, there's the equal and opposite reaction of scary and terrifying. But okay, so it's very simple terms such as tailgating, brake checking, and PIT maneuver. I don't know what it means, but this is the escalation of car-on-car violence. I don't know what people should say that. I'm just talking about the war on cars that, when Congress talks about something at a committee, like at a hearing, the ones that are on TV, I guess they have subcommittees. I'm just kind of assuming they only talk about stuff once it's on the record. So in the 1960s, I think specifically 66, they had a congressional hearing on tailgating. Okay, it's like, what are we going to do about all these reckless drivers that are tailgating, right? So the problem with English language, there's not a lot of them, but in my opinion, but we're trained as an entire people, as a population who speaks English. We think in these terms, we're trained, it's neuro-linguistics, linguistics, right? Affects our psychology and neurology. Tailgating is fun. We go to parties. It's like having a party in your car. I saw a commercial in the 1960s where the salesman's like, and look how big the back seat is, the station wagon. You could lay down and sleep in the back. It says something even more graphic than that in this old used car commercial from the 60s. But long story short, tailgating, brake checking, these terms, they sound like a game. It's like, I got games on the bookshelf over here. Risk. I'm going to grab it. Oh, no. Is this decent? I'm wearing a small shirt. It's way too heavy. I'm going to stand up and get it. So we got these games. It's like brake checking and tailgating. That sounds like something from this board game Risk. This guy, Sir Falls a lot, the French Revolution soldier, right? Board classic game of global domination. Brake checking, tailgating. It's like the cavalry is the brake checkers. The tailgaters are the infantry. And the PIT maneuver is the cannon. Okay? So, these terms make us very simple-minded, and it's the reason that yesterday hundreds of people had fatal crashes just in my own state. We used to have a billboard that said, this is how many people lost their lives on our roads yesterday, and it's just like, wow, that really makes me think. But long story short, let me go back to the simulation that I'm talking about. It's very simple terms that I've come up with myself. And I'm talking about gunfighting simulation. It is very comparable to classic laser tag we used to play at the different places. Or I think nowadays they do airsoft and there's paintball. Military bases have these, like, the best. They have the most advanced, like, paintballing there is. They have, like, paintballs that that don't leave stains. They have like green and tan paintballs for whoever's the enemy, whoever's the ally, or what enemies and allies. So paintballs are powered by CO2, whatever that is, carbon and 2 oxygen. I don't remember what that is at the moment, but I'm pretty good at chemistry myself. Anyway, it's like air-powered little paint, plastic balls with paint, a little bit of paint inside of them, and it's really fun. Video games were kind of fun. Arcade games in the 90s, Doom, stuff like that is all right. But imagine if games like Doom, just imagine if I said that when Doom was developed in the high-rise building in Dallas, I'm pointing to Dallas. Dallas is over there, east. It was developed on the top floor of one of the high-rises in Dallas. And it is shaped like a pyramid with sun coming in. And it was so hot they had to block out the sun to do their work because computers run really hot. But the technology was there, but the game wasn't designed to be very fun as far as a covering system. Nowadays in video games, we have cover systems where the player presses a button and he goes from standing and then he runs up and snuggles up to a piece of cover, whether it be a fence or a rock or a pile of wood, any sandbags, right? Long story short, okay, just a couple of terms, like there's infantry, cavalry, and artillery in the game Risk. On the road, the war on cars, there's tailgaters, brake checkers for cavalry, and the artillery is the PIT. And tailgating is kind of a misdemeanor that goes unpunished, like running a stop sign, for example. Like a California stop sign. I hear a beep, but that's just a washing machine. Long story short, the war terms that I've come up with is a shootout with cover is like peekaboo. The game, peekaboo. It's fun and funny. It's like, pop, 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 right? It's for adults. It's a stupid little game for adults. Peekaboo, and then when I watch myself in the simulation, the way I move, I saw a guy online yesterday had a quote. He said, "I will not retreat. If I charge, follow me. If I retreat, punch me," or worse, right? Okay, let me change his words to, "If I assault, follow me. If I retreat, assault me," right? That's the mentality. That's the idea of war gaming. And the other one was snuggling, okay? So cozying up and snuggling. This is why nobody talks about this stuff. Peekaboo, snuggling? What are you talking about? That's how it is. That the MVPs, the most valuable persons on a battlefield, are in the mentality of looking for something to snuggle against and to play peekaboo. It's like, my God, this is ridiculously demented, and I can understand in a simulation preparing for this, but it's like, to actually go through with this stuff, it's just unfathomable. I can't think about it. It's unthinkable. And that's why I just sit around. I'm like a professor. Okay? I, like other professors, was brainwashed in college. It happens to a lot of people in the Ivy Leagues. I read an article, the Iviest of the Ivy Leagues, Cambridge, Massachusetts, is named after the British University of Cambridge. I almost said Harvard. Cambridge and Oxford in England are the most distinguished universities like in world history. Besides the University of Bologna, Bologna in Italy, established in the 10th or 12th century, something like that. The mother of the law, in Latin is their slogan. But long story short, like Tom Green character in the notification movie of, I knew this was about to happen. I knew your screen was about to turn off, so I tapped it to turn it on. But it's the bookshelf, and then here's the board game again. But long story short, like the tour guide, his character of the tour guide, I'm like, Nancy, or some reason, his character of the tour guide is like, this is the story of Harvard, and it's founded. It's founded before America was founded, 100 years, almost 200 years before America was founded Harvard in like 1620. I'm just guessing, something like that. John Harvard in his name. And he was only like 20-some years old. And long story short, when Cambridge was founded, let me just go to the history on Wikipedia. Because I was reading a news article about a local boy in Dallas, suburb in the city of Melissa, Texas. The boy is pictured in his Mustang that his father purchased for him. I saw the Facebook photos from the news article, and he's struggling with a terminal illness. Very sad. And his father purchased him the $30,000 Mustang from Melissa, Texas. And I'm just thinking, like, wow. It was so emotional for me to read this, especially because he's like only like a few miles away. But I'll share the screenshots I took of the article that shows some of his Facebook photos. He's still alive, thank God, but he's about college age. I forget his name at the moment. I know he drives a Mustang, Ford Mustang, and from right now, I'm pointing, he's over there in Melissa, Texas, like 50 miles away or less. I don't know. Maybe, 100 miles. I don't know. Not very far, just on the other side of Dallas. And I'm not very far from that. But what the hell am I talking about? If I could summarize the idea I'm trying to make, I'd post a screenshot of the British article from the news, like not the BBC, but something like it, the Daily News or something of England, and then the history of Cambridge. It was either Oxford or Cambridge. I think at Oxford there was some kind of a dispute between two college-age young men and a female waitress at like the bar or something. All three of them died at the same time for some reason. This is like in like the 14th century. This is like a long time ago. And it was just getting out of control, turning into like a college party town, sort of like the United States of America is an entire college party town. The core, beating heart and engine of our industry is our colleges. And it has always been this way before America was founded and established in 1700s. In the 1600s, there was Harvard that was established in the Ivy League. But I think we need to bring an Ivy League over there to Melissa, Texas. And we'll name it after this boy and his Mustang. And we'll make a statue of him in the Mustang from this picture in this news article. It's just an idea, man. I mean, but I was just so emotional when I read that. I was like, this hits me right in the feelings. And I got a feeling that something happened. Something was going on. Here's the thing. It's like all around the world. I'm singing the song Statues Crumble for Me. Sugar Ray, I Just Want to Fly. But all around the world before America and Harvard and Cambridge, Massachusetts, everyone wanted to learn to speak English for some reason. And nowadays, look, everyone speaks English around the world. I'm not trying to brag. How could that be bragging? But yeah, the language that I speak, everyone speaks around the world, in different countries. And when they talk about the United States of America's freedom, they say they talk normal, no angst or anything. But then when they say freedom, they say like, no, I got it for free. I got it for free, because they talk about our freedoms like that. Freedom? Yeah, we got freedom in America. We could do, I could go to Massachusetts and go to college. One of my cousins did in the 1800s, who shall not be named. I'm just joking. He's my fifth cousin, 5 times removed. I can name like almost all the family members in to me here now, but David Henry Thoreau is who I'm talking about. By his nickname, he would flip the Henry and David to David and Henry. So he went by Henry David Thoreau. Long story short, he dropped out of Harvard in the 1800s during the, I think, Andrew Jacksonian era. And all these years later, dropping out of Harvard is like the coolest thing to do. Before Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg made it cool to be a college dropout, my cousin did this. And he's written about in my book here, What It Loves Power, on page 408. For real. But, oh, maybe this book's about my cousin? Interesting. All right, right here. An image of a garden of weeds. I don't know if that can be seen. Just above the red lettering on the paragraph. I don't know if it can be seen. But, yep. And, if he was an apprentice, his master, the mastermind of Henry David Thoreau is Edwin. I can't think of it now. Also, Harvard, they met at Harvard. Very famous author. I mean, one of the biggest in the 1800s. Can't think of his name now. Written about in the next book after that. But when I say that, I mean Mastery, the book Mastery. But, my personality kind of changes when I have my headphones on. I talk louder. I'm more open and honest. But what the hell was I talking about? I was talking about, I don't know. But there's lectures of Robert Greene at Cambridge on YouTube. And those are like the 2 distinguished schools in England. And so I'm unable to get accepted into Cambridge or Oxford in England because I don't have cousins or parents who went there, at least anytime recently. So in America, I have the freedom to go anywhere, any of these colleges. There's not really any Ivy Leagues in Texas, but, that's why I go up there to the Ivy League areas. But I've never been up there, but I read a lot about it. I've seen movies and stuff, but long story short, I don't remember now. Yeah, I hate to end the video just not remembering what I'm talking about, but yep. So the type of stuff that I'm talking about, dynamics of wars, no, people don't learn that type of stuff at college unless they go to like an army college or something like that. But I guess that's all. I mean, this whole entire, if this is 30 minutes, I don't know how long, revolves around these terms: tailgating, brake checking, and PIT maneuvers. And so there's so many millions, so many hundreds of thousands, I don't know, dozens of thousands of videos of people brake checking and the reaction. They all get out and they do the same thing. Every time. There's the dash camera of the car tailgating. There's the brake checker clearly, doing their thing, thinking, oh, I'm about to get a new car, but not realizing that tailgating is barely a misdemeanor. I mean, it's barely like on the scale of lawfulness. It's like low, or like high. It's like highly lawful compared to brake checking or whatever, intentionally trying to cause an accident or a collision of vehicles. Oh, you had an accident? Like, oh, the guy's face got mangled off and ripped off by a piece of metal. It was an accident. It's like, come on, this is a war. This is just, it's a worldwide war. Before World War II, if we see an image of, let's say, Europe and what the road system looked like, and then we watch as it goes tick, 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 1941, 42, 43, 44, all the way up to today, we can see how the roads have spread. And it was all the destruction and bombs that paved the way through this. They didn't have bulldozers. They had like trucks, just like these trucks. Oh wow! I was like, I want one of those World War II trucks. They were kind of like the Jimmys or the Jeeps that were the gems on the battlefield. JEM gem, like a shiny little. Oh, look at that shiny little thing, the little automobile. But the Second World War paved the landscape to be developed into this road system where the current World War has been going on. Congress talked about it once in the 1960s. With this, what are we going to do about tailgaters? What are we going to do about brake checkers? What are we going to do about people who try to intentionally cause an accident with physical touching the car? That's really, really bad. I don't know what's worse than that. Anything worse than these three things is going to be like the video game Twisted Metal, that I was trained on, grew up playing, loving the game, PlayStation 1, first generation PlayStation game. I was in the first grade at school at this point in my life, and then nowadays, they made a season 1 last year or the year before. They're about to make a season 2 on Peacock, the app. So, looking forward to it. In March 2020, that was 4 years ago now, I signed up with YouTube Premium because it was like $4 to start with. And since it was $4, now it's like $16 or some extraneous number. And I've tried to talk to my family members so we can have a family package. But they're like, no, I got all these other subscriptions. I don't want a YouTube subscription. Although I canceled it 3 weeks ago, it just went into effect today. And I'm trying to Aruga, as soon as I get comfortable with my technology, they update the interface, and it throws a wrench into my system. And it's been that way since I've had computers on Y2K. But at least I've personally owned a computer around Y2K. If I told you I was like, when they were developing Doom in 1994, before it premiered in 1995, around the time of Twisted Metal, I don't know if I have my numbers right, because I'm so young. I'm like 5 or 6 years old, maybe even 4, maybe 3. But I'm like 4 years old. I'm up there in the high rise of this Dallas building. I forget what building it is, but it's shaped like this and has a big sunroof, and they're just getting baked up there. Baked. I mean, they're probably half baked, if you know what I mean, quote unquote, jokingly. A wink and a nod. Yes, you will have a hot potato. Yes, you will have a hot potato. That's a joke from Back to the Future. Marty McFly goes into a bar in the future, and the TV screen comes up at him, and it's Ronald Reagan. Oh, well, today our specials are grilled mesquite sushi, McDonald's chicken, and then on the other half of the screen, he's talking like this, and then on the other half of the screen, the guy starts bumping him out of the way like this. Yes, you must have hot pistachio. Yes, you must have a hot pistachio. Yes. And it's like, they start glitching. It's ridiculously funny to watch, but it's like a hot potato joke, I guess. I don't know why it's funny. I really don't, but it's funny. Long story short, whatever I was talking about before I started talking about the hot potato, I don't remember, so I'm just going to take a nap. I'm just kidding, I'm not going to take a nap. But what the hell was I talking about before that? Cars. We got the song Cars from the 80s. Now we got the movie, the animated. Yeah, here, I gotta sit up and do this. The animated movie Cars. In Cars, what if I press this button here at the bottom of the interface and it showed me sitting in a car? and I think that's funny to me. But I guess I'll go with this one. That was my first choice, to be quite honest. But this stuff is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that people don't understand the reality of the world we live in. That World War One and World War II paved the world for the modern warfare of vehicles. And it's just like the video game Twisted Metal in reality. But it's fun and funny to drive. It's fun and funny to watch some of these videos of collisions and their aftermath on dashboard cameras. I mean, if I could give you a business idea, if you got nothing going on, and let's say you're having problems with your friends, your family, your coworkers, your co-eds, fellow students, you can't seem to make yourself scarce enough. You can't you're too in demand. You're too common. You seem to be everywhere. You're always talking. You're like a professor, just talking. Nobody wants to hear, even if you have good ideas, nobody wants to hear your ideas because you never shut up. I'm always talking trash, like me. I'm a professor. I was brainwashed by professors in college. Ivy Leagues are the worst of them, if you know what I mean. Wink. But, wink, wink, and a nod. Yeah, you must have hot pistachio. Yes. Oh, it's so funny to me. But, that's a long story. The business idea. Just take other people's video, the way I'm recording this with the Camify Live app. I don't know why nobody else uses it. Seems to be one of the best. And re-upload people's videos. And then in the comment section say, with your channel name, may I have permission to use this video? And it's a little free form of advertising. And it's just like, boom, there's a channel of taking these videos. So it's hard not to like snap out of, if you start watching these road raging videos, if you see the movie Inside Out, it's about our different split personalities. So when my authority downstairs, my parents says, hey, stop talking so much, I have to shift my personality. I have to go, whoop, I have to do that mentally. Yes, mother, yes, I have the hot pistachio, yes. And I started talking like that, but else-wise, I have a couple of different personalities that are utilized at the proper, I use them in the right way. I utilize them. And those are, my voice, that's like Charlie the dog from Looney Tunes. Charlie dog, like this. What's the matter? What's the matter? Hey, what's the matter with you? You winning my ravioli and my pasta fasola too. I'm going to give you cacciatore and a piece of the stick to chew. What's the matter? You don't like me? Hey, that's the matter for you. Bum, 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 bum. So that is what's so funny to me is in these dash cam videos when the what's it called, the perpetrator or something, the brake checker tries to hit me in the back, hit me in the back, and then boom, they hit him in the back, and then they get out, they go, what? They always do this. It's, what? With both hands. What? 9 out of 10 at least. It's like, this isn't funny. I've seen it so many. They get, what? They get out of their car. They go, what? I've seen it so many times. It's ridiculous. I don't think I've ever done that. I got my car totaled rear-ended. Very bad. I don't want to talk about it so bad. Oh, my Honda Accord. That was my grandfather's 1992 Honda Accord. I loved that car, and it got slammed at 40 miles an hour from an SUV. I don't remember getting out of the car because it was such a dangerous intersection over there. Not very far from here, but I could just never live it down. I had a witness, bearing witness for me. He said this lady hit him on purpose, is what the guy said. And then the other guy was a rival company working for the pizza place, delivery driver. I was delivering sandwiches at this point, and he was bearing witness on her behalf. and nobody wanted to stick around and deal with all the hassle. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to reopen this case at this point. This happened in 2007. I tried brake checking a policeman in 2008. Never again. Never again. Because I didn't understand. I thought it was I would get I would get a new car if somebody rear-ends me. That's what I had been trained on. Whoever's following, right? There's all these convoluted things of, even if there's a 3-car rear-ending, boom, 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 it's always the farthest person's back's fault. It's like, huh? Or it's the person in the middle's fault. It's so convoluted that I just keep distance in the front, keep distance in the back, keep distance on the sides, just in case. Imagine at any point some car loses control. That's how I think. Every car I see, imagine this car just starts going, whatever. What can it do? It can do anything except for go in reverse because it's going so fast. Like, unless it was a rocket car or something. Tesla might add rockets to cars, like in video games. That'd be nice. But no. There was a witness for me. He said it was her fault who had rear-ended me in the SUV. She had a dog. So everybody was fine. I thought I was dying. I went, oh no! And I looked in the rearview mirror. I saw someone coming up to me at 40 miles an hour in an SUV. Meanwhile, cars are going like this right next to my lane in the turn lane. I don't think there was a turn lane, but she started doing the thing where you hit my car, is what she said. And I'm like, what? I was so immature at this point. I was 19, 18 maybe. I think I had just turned 19. But when I had about to turn 20 or just turned 20, I tried brake checking a policeman. He didn't hit me. He didn't even pull me over. He just sat and waited for me because I'd pulled into the gas station. I got what I wanted, snacks and a Slurpee, went back to my car, and just kept on my little merry way. I don't want to tell the whole thing, but I mean, I guess I can tell the whole story. But yeah, then as soon as I got on the highway to start going back home, then finally I've been pulled over for the first time, really. I mean, I think I'd been pulled over before, but this was different because I couldn't comprehend that even though I turned my signal on, and even though I was turning into the store to get the snacks that I was getting, chips and Slurpee or something like that, because I braked too hard, it was a tinge of brake checking. It was like, I don't even want to say in legal terms what it is. Assault on a police officer with my vehicle? Hey, not good. I mean, worse than not good. Unthinkable, let alone undoable. Another time, I was on a different freeway in Arlington, and I don't know what it's an event going on. I don't remember if it was what kind of event, but they had a guy directing traffic of come this way, okay, stop, and then now come this way, okay, stop, right? And I was just doing that, but you know what I mean? I think he was messing with me. He's like, he had singled me out as the last guy coming through, but they said, no, I don't want this guy to come through. And he said, stop. And I was like, I didn't even notice. And then he like blew his whistle. He's like, beep, beep, beep. And then he said, pull over there. And I was like, okay. And like, I was like, stopped and pulled over. And then he came, and he's like, just gave up on directed traffic, came over to my window. He's like, roll your window down. And I'm like, okay, what? He's like, you tried to hit me with your car. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't even see. And I really did it. I was like, watching the road. I'm not watching you, guy. You were saying, come on. And all of a sudden you told me to stop, so I'm already midway through the intersection. Right? But I couldn't put that into words because I was so immature. I was like 18 or 19. Something like that. But no, it's not the same anymore. It's like 1990s versus now. I mean, this wasn't in the 90s, but feels like that way. And, if I could, I'd apologize to him, but I understand what you're trying to teach me. The best teachers, you know, I'm a professor. That's why I'm a professor. I just sit here and talk and talk and talk. I'm not very fun at parties. Maybe I was fun when I was on MySpace before I became a professor, but after when I joined college and started getting brainwashed by professors, Robert Greene speaks about this in the second book, the sequel, of how much of a curse it is to have the professor attitude. We only like to hang out with other professors who talk and talk and talk. I posted this on Facebook because it was started in college. Library. If a student at college was going to parties instead of the library, they wouldn't have known about Facebook. There wouldn't be people in prison watching Facebook. That was like keep them off of social media, but then not very long after, here we are. And I'm still talking to the people I met in the library when we learned about Facebook in its early, first and second year. This was 2006, the fall, my first semester of college. Long story short, I'm first generation video gamer, computer war simulators. I was playing Doom beta version at an office because I was playing Castle Wolfenstein, and I was like 3 or 4 years old. And here I am on a computer. They're like, here's your high chair, buddy. We're going to talk to your parents about getting a reverse home mortgage loan insurance, right? And I'm like, okay. And then they pick me up, put me on the high chair, and push me up. Just sitting here and do this. And then I'm like in preschool playing these Nickelodeon games on the Apple computer too. I'm like, well, this is fun. Wait, a turkey? You get a turkey to fill up your health in the game, Wolfenstein. But Congress had a hearing about Doom. They're like, okay, we get you did that Wolfenstein Nazi zombie type thing. But this is Doom. You're taking it too far with Doom. And my guys just over there developed this game. Probably very close to the office that I went. My parents got a reverse home mortgage loan insurance. They were kind of struggling financially at this point when I was born. But thankfully, it's all these years later and we're not. So that was me. The literal youngest. It says this is before the video game rating system, the Congress was like, what are we going to do about Doom? And then 4 years later, when they were developing GTA 1, the Congress in Britain, whatever it's called, they have the two different houses. They have the House of, not the House of Burgesses. I don't know. One has a red carpet, one has a green carpet. One's a little more common people. The other one's real exquisite and very high class. It's a classiest place. And to hear these people getting upset about GTA 1, right? And the potential of it. It's I want to read those transcripts. I really, really, really want to. But I kind of am scared at the same time. I don't know what other kind of things they discuss, but I miss the old guy. The old guy who used to be the leader of the whatever it was. He used to make jokes, but he retired around 2020 or something. I was in the live chat trying to joke with the guy through the live chat on YouTube, but I guess I opened up a can in my blog yesterday saying these 3 words: tailgating, brake checking, and TIT maneuvers. It trains us for this mentality, but in reality of real battles and battlefields and stuff, I'm talking about snuggling and playing peekaboo, even more R-word regressive attitudes. But it makes me the best player. That's when if I can explain what is snuggling, it's cozying up to cover. If I have to maneuver and go the longest way home is the shortest, whatever the quote is, the longest way around the bases is the shortest way home. It's like a baseball term and war term. But I'm like, I've got this flow that I'm in. It's hard to explain. I'd have to see myself playing a simulation to explain what is. But games like the shooter arcade games, Doom, stuff like that. Uh, there's other games that aren't really. They're I don't know. I don't know. They're worse than that. But oh man, what's the name of the game? Should I say it was on Fox News in such and such 10 years ago about? So I wanted to know what the National Rifle Association origin was, NRA, and I found in the 1930s the Progressive Democratic New Deal had a plan called the NRA, and it was about the National Farmers Association. It was something like that. It was like a farming bill or something. Before the NRA was what we know it, 100 years ago, it was something completely different. And long story short, someone made a video game. Someone that I don't know who, better believe, made a game about practice target shooting on the NRA board members. Okay, and one of them is named David. My name's David. So hey, kind of funny to me, kind of scary, but hey, something they talked about it on Fox News, so it's newsworthy, right? That's why otherwise I wouldn't talk about it. But long story short, I'm going to end this blog there. I just opened up. I'm trying to close the can of what I said yesterday about war is fun and funny, equal and opposite, scare and terrifying. I'm trying to close that can, but now I've opened up all these other cans. My next blog is going to be full day length. So that's all.